what's up, everybody? This is a special edition of the Boyko Show with my very, very good guest, good friend, Mr. Betancourt, Dave Betancourt, with us today. So let's give him all a big round of applause, right?
Well, thank you for having me, Patrick. It's been a pleasure knowing you for all these years.
Yeah, what are we at, 10 now?
10 years, yeah. We started out.
I think it's too many.
We started out coaching swimming together.
We did.
I remember my son saying, "Dad, what do you know about swimming?" And I said, "Son, you just got to be first. If you're not first, you're last."
That's your major addition to the swim team. First off, that year we were always last. Sorry, guys.
Well,
we were always last, and
it wasn't because I wasn't trying. I mean, I would say, swim harder, swim harder.
Yeah, faster, faster.
You know what we should have done was maybe put some sharks in the water. That might have helped them get a little bit motivated to move.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Sharks in the water?
That got us motivated one day. Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
So today's episode's called Catfishing with Betancourt. This is where he puts a video or picture of himself much younger and handsomer and definitely not himself on the internet to get some women. But no. Fishing with Betancourt. I spelled it wrong.
I don't need to go ahead and do that to get women. Women are just magnetically
just
attracted
throwing themselves at you. By the way, I wanted to put this up. I thought you would hit it in anger.
No.
So knock it down. No, we don't want it there.
I am the big B.
Okay, then I'll knock it down.
All right.
That's fine. And I think it actually broke. It wasn't very good cardboard. So I do want to talk about the fact that we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And all the way back to that first year swimming, I even forgot that. I didn't even put that down. I tried to forget that, seeing you without a shirt.
We spent several days at the city relays. We spent all day long at the district championships. With a trip to Hooters, taking the kids over there.
Oh, that's right, the swim team going to Hooters.
They had a wonderful time.
Oh, that's getting edited out.
Yeah.
And I mean of life, of this show. No. Yeah, what a good time. I think that was our kickstart to being close to the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I developed a relationship with the kids early on, and it was really a shock, and I was really glad that I was able to do that because it gave me an opportunity to relate to these children. And believe it or not, I'm probably a lot older than some of these children's grandparents, and to be able to relate with them and let them know that I've got their back is a wonderful thing. That I have students coming back every year saying, "Hey, B, what's going on? And I'm glad you told me this, and help me with that." And I know that Mr. Boyko does the same thing with his students and his after-school program and stuff like that. This.
Well, we haven't had the orphanage for a while.
Yeah, he teaches history and I teach science, but what we really want the students to know is we're also teaching them everything that we know about life, so they don't make the same mistakes that we do. Although I do. When I have a class that is a little challenging, I tell them that I don't know if this could be said on this show.
This is a joke. Before
I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning, I pray to God that they make all those students in that challenging class teachers. just to get them back. When I say that, they get scared.
They study immediately.
Yeah, they begin studying. I don't want to be a Betancourt or a Boyko.
That's right. We do it for the money, everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
We do it for the money. I wanted to tell them because I found some pictures of when we did the Village People for a pep rally, because none of these kids have seen that.
Oh, no.
That was back in the crazy days.
Or Thriller.
Oh, yeah, and I did find some. I found the Thriller picture.
You should show them Mr. Legler's Kiss picture from the.
I'll throw that up. I'll throw up the four of us.
That'll be a good one. I wasn't in Kiss. I didn't get invited.
That would have been funny.
I think I had a lip fungus that time, so they didn't let me be in.
You don't still have it, do you?
No, not at all.
Yeah, but being the Indian was interesting because that's when I had to have my shirt off in front of the whole school, and it wasn't college days, if you know what I mean. But you as the cowboy was freaking hilarious. Look at these pictures.
As you notice there, I had my mustache going with the Grecian 44. Right now, I'm about Grecian 13. I need to do something with this thing. And I'm tired of you students out there calling me Santa Claus. If you do it again, you're not getting nothing for Christmas. Oh, it's because I'm fat, not my beard. Now I know why Johnny puts up with all of this. I don't know
If I
why.
wanted to lead that joke fully, I would have been like, it's not because of your beard. That would have been a better joke for the show. Instead of just straight out bullying you. Don't bully. It's wrong.
Yeah.
I did want to put up Gangster Cowboy when you were screwing around before.
yeah. I threw up my signs. Yeah.
I want you all to look at that picture. Oh my God.
Take a look at that. I don't know why
Oh
I
my
wasn't in the
God.
new movie Magnificent Seven
Oh my
with Denzel.
God.
Denzel should have had me as one of his guys in that show.
So clearly you guys have seen we've been screwing around at Jefferson. I'm going to say screwing around at Jefferson for 10 years because we do have fun doing this.
This has been, of all my jobs, this has been the one that I really enjoy. I'm on the highway at 6:15 on the way over here. I can't get in here, soon enough. I really enjoy spending time with the students, and you can see it. I mean, I don't have, I don't scream at the kids. I'm very peaceful and calm with the students. You don't see me frazzled in the classroom at all. So it's something I really enjoy. And then, every now and then, a teacher might get an accolade that supposedly they thought was deemed, but I always wanted to be Teacher of the Year until Patrick won it, and then I know.
Then you knew it was.
Then I knew. Then I knew it wasn't that big of a deal.
That's funny.
Yeah. But no, he truly deserved it.
Oh God, I don't need this now.
Yeah. He deserved it.
Thank you. Goodbye.
He didn't earn it. He deserved it, but he didn't. But
that's funny. So, our longtime friendship. One of the things we always would do together, guys, is we would go fishing, and we've probably been fishing 20 times with
at least twice a year for the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, that would be 20. By the way, that's a math problem for you guys first thing in the morning.
If we fished 2 times every year for 10 years, how many years is that? You might need to take off your shoes for this because you have to go to the two hands and 2 feet. I think is going to be the answer.
Square root. So we go fishing a lot.
I brought my little pole.
Yep. And when we go fishing with people, it's fine. Like his son, Bubba, like nothing goes wrong. We actually catch a lot of fish too.
Yeah, he'll put you on fish.
He'll put you on fish, Captain.
Yeah.
Captain
Invasion
Bubba.
Charters.
Yeah, plug away. And on
and Flats Mafia, don't forget that.
So this is through the Betancourt family here, and I told you this once, but I'll tell you on the show. One of the reasons I love going fishing with you, and I love going alone, and I know that sounds cheesy, but it's what I told you that one time.
Yep.
It's kind of like getting to spend time with my dad again. And not saying you're that old, but you know what I mean.
Yep. No.
It's 13 years.
13 years already?
Yeah, this past week.
Yep. And when we spend time together out there, this last time that we went, we had an opportunity to see osprey almost every pole along.
I throw up a few pictures
of all along MacDill Air Force Base.
Don't jump ahead. That's one of my stories.
Okay.
To the MacDill Air Force Base. But we always see a bunch of stuff. We don't catch a lot of fish when it's just the two of us.
And you know what?
That's not why I'm out there.
No, we're not there to catch
Relax,
fish.
talk, hang out.
It's not really the most economical way to to eat fish. If for $3 we can get a fillet of fish at McDonald's. We go out there just because it's beautiful. It's wonderful time.
On the
It's
water.
nature. We joke, we laugh, we have fun, we fall in the water. That's another story. He's going to be talking about that. But it's always a pleasure to go with him. This last time, leading off with that, we put in the new place I keep my boat.
Yeah, that's a really cool place because I'll throw some of the shots of the city I took.
Yeah.
You get to drive down the river out of the what would you call it, the inlet?
The river.
It's just straight up the river.
Straight up the river. This is just for you boaters. I've been boating now since 1996. You might want to make sure that you put the plug in when you go into the...
Story number 1. So let's go straight into this.
Every now and then I forget, because you see, for the first probably 15 years of fishing, I always would go with my brother-in-law and my son, and they would always handle the plug. So it's been now about 10 years that I've been going by myself, and I've forgotten the plug about 4 times.
We were fishing one day, and we're both standing in parts of the boat that aren't down in the Was it? What would you call it?
Not in the. We were on the platform.
In the well. Yeah, we're up on the platform at one time. So we're just standing there staring at the water, and I don't know who looked back. I don't know whether it was me or you, or we just look back and we go, "Oh, we're flooding." Okay. And I didn't know anything about a plug, so non-boater Boyko is like, "Oh my God, we're gonna sink. We're sinking in a boat. I've read about this. I can swim. I mean, I know that Dave can swim somewhat, but the sharks are gonna get him first."
Yeah.
Story number 4. But
You just reach. You hang off the back of the boat. You reach down in there and you screw the plug in.
yeah, here. I wasn't gonna use this picture if you bent over.
Slap the bill. Slap the bill, John. Wait about 15 minutes, and then you're
not sinking
and you're
anymore.
not sinking anymore. That's happened several times, people. I don't know.
With me.
I forget sometimes. I guess I should have a checklist. I mean, I don't know why. Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, and then this
Yeah.
boat sinks to the bottom of the bay.
Yeah.
Here's a time we didn't sink. Another time we went fishing, we were on like mangrove snapper. You remember that?
Yeah.
And those, by the way, when you taught me how to cook those were one of the best
Yeah.
fish.
It's a nice white fish.
So here we are fishing. We're not paying attention again. Maybe that's part of
Right. It's right over. We were just right off of Gandy Boulevard, right off the old reef that they have there. It used to be marked. Some of the storms, let the buoy go.
No, this isn't the shark story.
No, it's not the shark story.
No, this is when we get stuck because we're not paying attention.
Yeah. This.
And
one
all of a
we were
sudden,
we went. This was in.
speaking of Flats Mafia,
We were fishing on the flats, and you gotta be aware of the tides. When the tide goes out, water goes down.
correct? When it's
When the
being pulled
tide
by the moon
comes
on the other side of
in,
the planet.
Tide, the water comes up. Well, we were out there fishing and just having a great time, and said it's time to go now. And
Tidal shift.
The boat doesn't really move well through mud.
And you can't floor it because that'll ruin
No. So luckily,
Well, no, tell him first. He had me out of the boat. I had just had knee surgery, 6 months before? And here I am attempting and moving it just a little. We were moving it a little, but it wasn't fast enough to get out.
I probably should have gotten out of the boat too.
Yeah, it adds a few pounds.
Yeah.
But
we were able to luckily we were able to just pull it off and off we went.
Somebody came and helped us. I like the boater etiquette because it
Yeah.
was like, you just wave and they'll turn their boat around and
Because you never know.
I think I went over and swam the rope back.
Right.
And we both got out of the boat and pushed at the same time. And he pulled it out.
And another success story. That happened to me in the Keys with my brother and my 2 sisters, and it wasn't very comfortable because my brother ended up started to feel bad. I shot a couple of flares there right off the coast of Key West.
Oh, that's right.
They were getting ready to send a helicopter from Miami to look for us, and we were in 1 foot of water, a mile off of the coast of Key West, because when I don't let you have cell phones in the class, I don't want cell phones in my boat either. You're on the boat to fish and to party and to have a good time, not to be texting and stuff like that. So
you can't really after a while anyway.
So nobody took the cell phone that day, and
You had no way to call.
Wow,
that's pretty scary. That's the one time I wasn't on the boat for it.
We got back to the dock at 2:00 in the morning with Florida Wildlife Commission officers there taking reports down from our family.
You know why?
What the boat looks like.
They probably thought it was bloodline. They probably thought you were smuggling drugs.
Or relatives.
Or relatives. That's right. You guys are Cuban.
Yep.
This gets real. This is where we got in trouble on the show.
Yep.
Talking about Cuba. Did you know that?
No.
They didn't like that we brought up Cuba on the show.
Who didn't? The Cubans?
Well, the said person who I won't name thought the Cubans would have an issue with us talking about Cuba when the whole school's half Cuban. And all I did was compliment it and say I would go. And I think going back was the...
I was there. I spent New Year's Eve there this past year.
I don't think he said it wasn't a good idea. This is where radio comes in.
And it was a wonderful time. I mean, it gave me an opportunity to see the homeland of many of our students. And,
Many past and present.
gave me an opportunity to share my experiences down there, and them share their experiences with me, which I think further tighten the bonds between me and my students in my homeroom. So I have an ELL homeroom, so it gave me a lot of opportunity to talk about them, showing them pictures.
Some of them are just gotten here, haven't they?
Yes. Yep.
They've only just left.
Yeah.
So Gonzalez had one too. So back to the stories. There was a time when, you remember when we got chased out of the electric plant?
Several times out of the electric plant.
They got a siren that is super loud, and you don't know even where they're coming from, and it's just some guy yelling.
Anglers, you're fishing in a restricted zone. Anglers. Well, Patrick, in that same spot, we were fishing. My son and I were fishing there on the other side, right along the mangroves, and it is just a fantastic little area to fish. It's
the warm water coming off the plant,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. It was like 19 feet of water, and it's a lot of rocks and stuff like that. So it's a good spot for mangrove snapper, but we've also caught some nice redfish out of there.
Whose rule is it? Is the electric plant's rule or the government?
Well, it has to do now with Homeland Security and being close to.
Got it. So it's the government.
So close to power plants and things like that.
And military bases, which will come up in a minute.
Yeah. Then we had, but we happened to just be fishing and having a great old time, and then all of a sudden we see a boat coming towards our way, and we don't think much of it, and then all of a sudden, between the time we turned to look and turned back again, there was the Coast Guard ship with the guy on the front with the big.
That guy had the machine gun?
He had the machine gun and everything.
At the electric plant?
Yeah, at the electric plant.
See, I wasn't on the boat for this one either, so it hasn't been that bad for me.
No.
Wow.
But they had the big guns on the one at MacDill also.
Was there a gun on the front? I never really gave that boat a look at MacDill.
Yeah.
I was too pissed off.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, but that's those are.
I can see why.
Those are fun times, but we got to protect ourselves. There's a lot of crazies out there, and
yeah, agreed.
The fact, but what are we going to end up doing in a 19-foot boat? I guess.
Well, what can you end up doing with a box cutter?
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean.
We know.
It's the stuff we don't know.
Yeah.
And how about yesterday with those? 2 days ago, a bunch of bombs going off in New York City.
Yeah, they sent out an alert.
I take it back. Oh, just to be wary, be aware.
In New York, and they were able to send out in New York.
Sorry, I have such a habit of doing that to Bachman.
What, New York?
New York.
What is
York?
It? Pronounce it.
York.
York.
Yeah,
York?
as in York, as in back in Great Britain, York.
York this. Hey,
York you.
So they had, at 8 o'clock this morning, everybody's on the trains and all that going to work in New York, and they sent an amber alert.
I saw the Amber Alert,
and it was it's got to be very, very frightening for them to get that.
You get the alert.
Yeah, when especially when you're on a train, and that's where some of the.
And you're heading into the city.
Yep.
So, one that. I don't want to say I was a little scared. First off, I was mesmerized during this trip.
Yeah.
It's when it got. Is that your phone?
Yes, it is.
It's that loud that I heard it through my headphones?
Probably because I'm a little hard of hearing at the age of 60.
This is a TV show. One of the rules for TV and radio is you silence all your devices. There was this one time where we were on a boat, and I think every time we've gone fishing, a storm hits.
Yep.
It's almost a requirement when you and I go fishing.
This is the waterspout.
It is the waterspout.
That was a beautiful.
What a crazy thing.
It's one side of the bridge, we're on one side of the Gandy, and the other side of the Gandy is the waterspout. And it was beautiful. It was well defined. It was perfect.
And you can see it, and I found the video, so it's up right now. You can see that thing just trailing down.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we weren't close enough to see it with my camera, but with the naked eye, you just saw this water.
Yeah, spinning.
Just spinning up into it. Oh, it was such the coolest thing. That was like double rainbow for me.
remember the time we went over to the backside of.
That was a little scary because
The hair started to.
You don't like lightning as it is. I'm not as scared.
I don't. It doesn't really bother me.
But you are at lightning risk. In fact, after that storm, what was it, a month and a half ago when we went fishing?
Yeah.
Like 3 days later, there was a story of people getting killed by lightning hitting their boat, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we do need to be more careful.
It's better to to beach the boat and take cover underneath something a little bit better than the bimini top.
That's the only thing on the boat, by the way, that keeps you from the sun.
Yeah.
That was a race. And I remember that being very rough.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was in November. It was cold, wasn't it? Wasn't it a cooler day? Because I remember those waves when they would hit me.
No, it's just that when the wind starts to blow, it cools down that water quite a bit. And it is really, and then you're traveling, and then the rain hits you, and it's like
we were white capping, and you had to go.
Yeah.
You had to go into the white caps.
Yep.
That was rough. We almost had to serpentine all the way back.
Believe it or not, the bay does get rough, and it gets uncomfortable out there.
We drove to St. Pete the day after the hurricane because we were going for the weekend for what was it, Labor Day?
Labor Day.
And still, that Friday afternoon, it was still like white capped. Like you're talking, like the whole bay, the whole bay.
It gets crazy.
Oh, Dave, side story, and I'm gonna put this video up. We were on a cruise ship this summer, and while we left port, we haven't even reached the Skyway yet. And they have the Coast Guard has to show up and pull someone off the boat. And I got the entire thing, top view, on video.
Where they came and got them in the basket?
So you have to keep moving because you want to cut the water. So the boats have to remain moving forward.
But they did boat to boat.
They did a boat-to-boat transfer from this massive cruise ship to the little...
Out the side door, down on the
bottom side door. And I thought the guy was going to fall in at one point.
Was he walked across, or?
They were passing the guy across on a stretcher. He unfortunately passed away later on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we had to turn around, and they let those people off. It was
that same day?
Yeah. They came out to get them so that they could be with the family.
So they came back out and got the other.
A second time, yeah.
So you had to turn around and come back to meet the Coast Guard?
I think we stopped and came back a little bit so that it could be somewhat near U.S. waters, but the Coast Guard in international waters.
Yeah.
So. But we either stopped or that.
This was this summer,
This
July?
this video is crazy. I'll cut to it here for a minute so that we can see the other stuff, and we'll come back. That was crazy. You're talking one small wave, and we're going to talk about one small wave in a minute, causing a problem. And you're off a boat.
Yeah.
You're off the boat.
Yep.
And if you're moving, the boat's gone.
Yep.
And if you're on a cruise ship, you get sucked underneath it.
We had an incident this summer where, no names, Chief was on the front of a Ranger boat sitting up on the front platform.
Look, Chief.
And a larger boat came across the front of them in their wake and hit them at the right angle and threw Chief off the boat. Luckily, he, from every indication, everybody that was on the boat said he's very, very lucky that he only got bruises and stuff like that. Bruised wrist, bruised.
You saw that? Was it a cigarette boat wreck?
Oh yeah. The one over
crazy?
there by
Where they were like
City.
opening.
Yeah.
The video of the GoPro and the thing. Do you know how hurt those people had to have been in that video? And we laugh when we watch it, but those people were.
Yeah, they
were hurt. So.
What about our MacDill Air Force Base trip?
Yeah, we'll do that one. No, save the wave for last. Let's do the MacDill first before the wave. So this was just this month ago. So here we are, and we get a really good idea that we're going to find. What type of fish were we looking for?
We're looking for either cobia or triple tail along every one of
these posts.
The pilings that we had all the osprey on.
And if you look closely, there's a sign on the top of this post that says, "Don't go near this post."
Well, it says don't cross it. That's a restricted area. So what we did was we started on the inner bay side, almost at the tip of Bayshore.
It was. We were right on the tip of Bayshore because we were looking at that house, remember?
Right. And we went along every one of those posts all the way around the restricted area, all the way over to Hula Bay.
And I'm glad, because you asked me, you're like, should we cut through? Because there's a cut through, and people cut through all the time.
Yeah.
And you can get what? How much is the ticket? What did the guy say?
Well, I didn't want to find out.
I think he even told us, he's like, this is a $150 ticket. But I get ahead of the story here.
So we're doing that, and along the way, as we approach every piling, Patrick's taking pictures of these osprey in movement, and it's beautiful. And I'm sure they probably had us on camera. And
already? Already?
And when we finally got around to where the beach area is there at MacDill Air Force Base, all of a sudden I see
they came tearing out.
Their police boat.
Yeah, police boat.
Police boat came straight on out, almost knocked the two poor guys that are inside the restricted area fishing.
Did they get waked? Did they wake them?
I'm sure they had to have, because they were just in kayaks fishing out there doing some shallow water fishing.
I told you that was my theory. We'll talk about my theory in a minute.
Then they came around and they made a big loop, and they were probably 150 yards behind us. And
saying a word.
Every time we went from piling to piling. Then finally I kept looking.
And as we got near the guys in the kayaks, that's what it was. When we got near the guys fishing inside the restricted area,
right,
inside in kayaks. Clearly rented kayaks. That's why they were bright colors.
Well, tell me about it. Tell me your conspiracy.
Well, let's finish. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's probably legit.
So we kept going, and finally they got on their loudspeaker and said, "Anglers, you are dangerously close." Go ahead.
Anglers, you are dangerously close to getting a ticket.
If you cross that line, we will give you a ticket.
Cross that line. And they were even kind of snarky about it. Cross that line and find out.
And then Patrick had to ask, well, what about he pointed to the kayakers.
What about them?
And they said,
don't worry about them. I'm talking to you. And I was like, okay, lose.
Yeah.
Soldiers with guns.
So,
so Dave, no, screw this. You start getting lippy. You're like, no, I'm not going to take this. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to drive the boat right up to them, and I'm going to tell them what I think.
No.
And then another time you're like, I'm going to keep, you know what? I'm going to get closer to this pylon and see what they do.
As long as I don't cross it. As long as I don't cross it. You know,
you wanted us to get shot.
You put a line in the sand.
You wanted us to get shot.
No, I just think that they could have, they could have treated us a little bit better.
So, well, here's my theory. They didn't bother us until they realized that we were going pylon to pylon, and that at some point would take us to the pylon that was the closest to the two guys fishing inside the restricted zone. Upon being told that I had to not worry about said anglers, at the time I didn't think anything of it, but after, I bet you did. They were probably a general or someone, or a we're talking a colonel, and you can't let anything happen to one of them because something would have to be done.
Yeah.
So here you have a boat that you don't know, holding something in his hands, which was my camera, and you have to go out and kind of pace them like they were us.
Well, not only that, but Patrick has a larger zoom lens on his camera, and we're taking pictures of everything
pictures
flying.
Of the airplane over.
Everything flying in that area, he's snapping pictures of. So there was reason for suspicion.
Yeah, and I think if those guys hadn't been fishing, they would have just watched us hit pole to pole.
Did Snowden get those pictures?
I haven't sent them to him yet.
Oh, we probably need
He
to.
probably has them already.
Yeah, but we really need to edit that out.
The Snowden joke?
Yeah,
The Snowden joke will be fine.
I think it's still.
I'm not a Russian spy.
All right, so the story is this: we're fishing for mangrove snapper.
Yeah.
And we're doing okay. We're catching a couple and all that. This was the day that Patrick caught his first trout. Caught a nice trout, and he hands me his camera to take a picture of him and his nice trout.
That's all the way back. That's one of our first times.
So he's got
I
the
have
trout.
it up there. There's the picture.
He's got his trout there, and all of a sudden the trout flips and back in the water.
I lost my fish.
Yeah.
But I got the picture.
Yeah. That was a nice one. Well, another time we're fishing, and
Uh-oh, is this said phone call?
oh yeah, this is the one.
Uh-oh. And we hung up. And answered it and hung up.
Yeah.
Great.
They're looking for me to go make some tests. We got a test this week.
Teaching. We're never off.
We have, so he catches a mangrove snapper.
Finish this story.
And we're doing well, and then all of a sudden he throws his line back out and he catches a shark.
No, this is where we're at the reef. So we're at the reef near Gandy, the one that's underwater reef that you have marked.
Right, and he catches a shark, and the shark, as he's bringing it in, the shark
sharks
goes
are strong.
Goes
you're like this. You go I'm up at the front of the boat, which is the bow.
Yeah.
The bow, and that's where the anchor is. And Dave yells, don't let him get around the bow. Don't let him get around the anchor. And
anchor line, and he gets around the anchor line.
Right when he says it goes around the anchor line.
So luckily, it's only wrapped around once. So I go over to the side of the boat, and
So we're both on the front.
Yep, and I got my feet just dangling in the water, reaching in to try to get the line around.
Turn that way so that we can show him.
Yeah,
he's
like
down.
this.
I'm leaning over with the fishing pole.
And I'm trying to get the shark off the...
And a wave hits us.
So Patrick jumps.
Well, when the wave hits us, I knew that I was going into the water. So I thought, I can still save this. I'm going to jump over Dave. And when I went to jump, the boat righted itself, of course, physics.
Yeah.
It follows this wave, and I catch you clear across the head with my knee. Clear across the head.
I fall in the water on top of him. So we've got a shark, Boyko and Betancourt.
Not just one shark. The shark had its friend following it while it was on my line. So there's 2 sharks in the water and 2 humans. But I knew he would get eaten first, so I wasn't as scared.
Yeah.
So here I am. You're worried about your fishing pole. I'm laughing my ass off. I can't stop laughing in the water. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. Thankfully, we weren't moving.
Too bad we didn't have a GoPro going.
And I have that stuff all now. So I lost my first one though.
Yeah.
I was in Key West, and I had it on my oar. So every time my thing would go in the water, I'd get like a water view. Mm-hmm. So it was like a splash cam. And here I am, and it just popped off, and I didn't have the floater on it because I forgot it. And so in 6 feet of water, probably 4.5 feet of water, I could not find my GoPro. Yeah. And this is like a guy thing maybe. I don't know if women will relate to this. I was less mad about losing my GoPro than I was about the fact that I couldn't find it in 4.5 feet of water.
Yeah.
Crystal clear water. You just can't see it. It's this.
Yeah. Did you have a mask?
No. If I had a mask, I probably would have found it. Of course. I hope.
But you know what would have been much better?
And I was being rushed.
Had the float on there.
Oh, Captain Hindsight. Yeah. Thank you, Captain Hindsight.
Or Captain Obvious, one or the other. Yeah.
So this is every time we go fishing, we expect now something to happen. And I even this last time at McDill, we got caught again
in a storm.
In another storm, and here's that video of that. That's a pretty good video of you, because I'm trying to hold it still, but it's it's a little rocky. But as we're going, you just see lightning bolts cracking behind your head in the background.
We moved. We came back around into Apollo Beach and went over to the marina. We were going to just hang out at the marina, and it got much calmer back in there. So we were very fortunate.
But I do want to do this. We were out on that boat for 7 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah.
And we did a half an hour of fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the least. We've never done that little fishing.
Yeah.
I want to go back out to Wheaton Island where we can, get out of the boat and fish.
Yeah.
Waist high water.
Yeah.
Chest high water. That's fun.
Chief's out there right now. I should
Is he
give him
really?
a call to ask him to see what kind of day he had.
Look, Chief. Look,
Yeah.
Chief.
Let's see. I have.
Look, Chief. I know your code now, by the way.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yep. So, folks, we're gonna end the show with that. I hope you enjoyed.
Hold on. Well, let's see if
Fishing with
we can
Betancourt.
get a fishing report from.
So we're gonna do a live post production, not live. Probably a week old by the time you see it. Fishing report. So stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
Look, Chief. Tell him he's on air so that he doesn't talk to you like he normally would. You get speaker? You on speaker?
Yeah.
Hello.
Chief, what's up? We're doing a live broadcast from Jefferson TV, and wanted to know if you wanted to give us a fishing report from Invasion Charters and Flats Mafia.
All the aspect to the boat ramp. And we all catch snips.
Are you caught what?
We gotta catch snips.
Are they edible?
Yeah, I'm gonna come when I get to the boat ramp. I'll be there in 2 minutes.
Alrighty.
He's a clearly.
When I get to the boat ramp.
Alrighty, sounds good.
You think
Okay.
he's rushing from a storm? That sounds like he was moving.
No, I don't know. I think maybe he just got a meeting he's trying to get to. Well, I'm going to have to sign off. I've got Tess to go take care of.
My good friend.
Bro, love you, man.
Love you too.
It's been a pleasure teaching with
10
you.
years,
and
man.
knowing
10
you
years.
and
10
knowing
years.
you. And
Lots of love. Dave, thanks.
pleasure.
Lots of love, man.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye.